Welcome to Wolf and Falcon Tarot, Gemini. In this reading, we uncover that somebody needs to learn how to be independent, as this skill will help them when it comes to a sudden change. Stay tuned to watch this reading unfold some advice and guidance for you, and an action that Spirit has for you to take. Plus, there are some wise words from the ancient swordsman Musashi, which kind of actually made some sense in the end. All right, let's dig into your reading, Gemini, starting with a quote today from Musashi. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for staying tuned. I really appreciate you being here. And let's hope that you get something out of this message from Spirit, either for now or in the future. And what did Musashi say? He said, "Become acquainted with every art." Now, that's a very interesting quote, and we'll find out what the explanation is for that quote at the end of the reading. We'll see if it all ties in together. Moving on to the Moon Magic Oracles. I'm going to try and illuminate your pathway today using the moon. Just to find out what the energy, frequency, and vibration is. We will discuss that a little bit and move on and then get you a pathway. And we'll ask the cosmos to increase the energy of your reading. Grab you a spirit totem animal. I've never said that right. A spirit totem animal. Get you a mystic forest card as well. Get you a meaning from that. And then we'll get you advice and guidance. And an action to take. I've got two alternatives here thinking about these cards. This reading is about somebody that is processing their emotions after a loss. Why do I think this? Well, the energy of this reading is the waning gibbous. And this speaks of reflection, respite, and processing. The frequency is the full moon, which is a card of luck, dynamism, and emotions. So the vibration here is going to be around the last quarter moon, and this one talks about being creative, releasing something, and loss. So that's why I've got this feeling that somebody is processing their emotions after loss. Now, on the flip side of that, this could also be quite lucky, looking at what Musashi has said, become acquainted with every art. So it could also mean that after you have been processing, after you have had some respite, there is luck on your side and something creative is going to come in to help you release these emotions. So that is another positive, but we won't really truly know this until we dive deeper into the reading. So it's kind of where I'm at. We'll illuminate your pathway now and just find out, well, what your pathway is, I suppose. Spirit guides, please illuminate Gemini's pathway. Oh, we've got one flipped already. Where is it? Where did it go? I've just seen it. There it is. We have a silver key. All right, so we've got solutions, unlocking potential. So that's quite positive. That's a positive start after processing your emotions after loss. So we do have solutions to this. Enlightenment and a spiritual awakening. I'll zoom out of these cards, guys. Sorry. Oh dear. They're just falling on the floor. Sorry, Gemini. Candles, flame, and the enchanted forest. There is hope, illumination, and guidance, magic, mystery, unexpected encounters coming your way. All right, Gemini, the way I like to see this is when I'm looking at a pathway, I like to kind of snake up and down and see how the moon is illuminating each segment of this pathway. So what we have to remember is that we have reflection, respite, and processing. And you have solutions and unlocking of potential as you have been processing. And this is kind of like illuminating your spiritual awakening. an enlightenment of your situation around your emotions, which I feel is bringing luck, hope, guidance towards your release, which is going to bring you some unexpected encounters, which will feel like kind of magical and mystical. We're going to expand it real quick with the cosmic alignment, increase the energy a little bit more. Well, I guess the seventh house wants these cards just wanted to drop out of my hand. We have a lunar eclipse, which is talking about a culmination, a release, and an illumination. Came out with Juno, which is about marriage, commitment, and bonds. All right, so we might have to release a marriage, or it's about a marriage, illumination about a marriage. You need to be disciplined, tenacious, and resilient, and find balance in your partnerships on this one-on-one relationship. You'll see these shortly. We are going to quickly grab you a spirit animal and what do you call it, and then I'll zoom out. Let's get your spirit animal right now and find out which totem that animal wants to work with you. Cat. This is talking about your independence here. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. So there's some independence that's needed here, Gemini. Let's find out what the Mystic Forest wants to add to the table, and then we'll zoom out again, get you some advice and guidance. The Gemini, please, Spirit. Make room. There we go. So you're being called to make room, create space to welcome positive change into your life. Let go of everything that doesn't align with the future that you are trying to create. Yeah, I mean, so it looks to me that Spirit is saying that there needs to be, so you have been oh, here we go, Gemini. You have been processing. You now have solutions. You have something, the silver key to unlock a potential around a situation that you have been processing. You've gone through a spiritual enlightenment around this, which has got something to do with your emotions. But because you've been doing the work, you now have the look, and there is hope, illumination, guidance that supports a release of this situation. Maybe you're also finding some creativity to bring magic back into your life through some sort of unexpected encounters. Looking at the moon energy, it's like this here is kind of like the energy. So we're like illuminating something over a marriage or a commitment that you're in, some sort of bond. It doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage per se. It could, bonds, we could be bonded to family, we could be bonded to friends, we could have commitment to family, friends, jobs, all that kind of stuff. But it's one of those three things here. So take that how it resonates with you. But we do have something to release, and it's maybe it was illuminated during the last lunar eclipse. You're being asked to be disciplined, be kind of tenacious and resilient around what it is that you want, which is your independence from this situation. You'll need to be disciplined and resilient when you're trying to create space, because deep down, what you're trying to achieve here is the seventh house in Libra, which I'll indicate it's right here. I'll just show it you. It's all about partnerships, balance, one-on-one relationships. So I think, Gemini, that's really important for you. So let's get some advice and guidance then, Gemini. Spirit guides for Gemini, please. What's their advice and guidance? We have strength. Five of Swords. So you've needed strength whilst experiencing loss. The advice with that would be that lessons move you ahead always. Gemini, what I'm feeling here, your advice and guidance is that you need to have strength through a conflict in order to bring balance back into your life. We have the 7th house out here, which is Libra, which does talk about balance around a partnership. The solution to this situation, I think I'm really certain that it's got something to do with you having to illuminate something around a marriage or commitment. You need discipline. With the Strength card and Capricorn, you need to have discipline. You need to be tenacious and resilient. And it's almost like there's a conflict here. One way that we could look at this in a positive way is to bring compassion and strength forward and use it for good. That lessons will move you on or move you ahead always, in order to create an equilibrium in your life. So that's something that we should really take away from this advice and guidance, especially since this 5 of Swords could mean kind of like an unfair advantage. It definitely means you could be experiencing loss, but it's also conflict. But as it's preceded by the Strength card, that's why I feel like you need to have this strength through a conflict in order to bring balance, to rebalance your life. If I had to line these cards up the way I think they should be, the hope and guidance brings balance and unexpected encounters your way. So it's kind of all ties in. So we definitely need then for you to find this strength. So let's get you an action to take, Gemini, in order for you to find this strength, in order for you to remain disciplined and resilient around this conflict that you have found yourself in. So the first card that fell is the Queen of Swords. That's a nice card to have, really. She's like the killer queen. Look at that. We don't take these cards, the light seers in the reverse, Gemini. And I'm going to proper zoom in on these because I like them. This is your action to take. Be the killer queen and trust the universe about new beginnings, because you've got an emperor. It's around an emperor. Gemini, the Queen of Swords is somebody that is honest, perceptive, direct, and she's wise and logical, and she seeks truth. And I feel that this is what your strength should be. This is the kind of individual, if you see here, that's her cup. Cups in tarot represent emotions, and it's locked away in a prison. While she is holding her sword, ready to strike, it's also simply just rested as she kind of just looks out beyond, into the beyond. She's looking and pondering at whether she should trust in the universe like the Fool. But here is where Spirit is saying, trust in the guidance that you have been receiving from the universe and your awakening in order to bring in a new beginning and start to be in your power, Gemini, with the Emperor, because this is the type of person that takes action by taking charge of the world, their world, with confidence and generosity. And you can tell by he's literally, you look at that looks to me like a globe. To some people it looks like a peach, but to me it looks like a globe. He's a very clever thinker. Capricorn energy. He's disciplined, tenacious, and resilient. So this is what you're being called to. I'm going to get a clarifying card because I'm not used these yet, so I'm really interested to see what pops out with this for you. Can we clarify the situation for Gemini, please, Spirit? Divine flow. Let go of attachment to the outcome and let the universe bring gifts. Metamorphosis, mirage. Embrace the tender transition between past forms and future possibilities as illuminated by the transformative butterfly. I mean, that kind of clarifies what's going on here, isn't it? That you are being called to trust in this process of your spiritual awakening. Wow. There's definitely, like we say, there's a metamorphosis here. So when I hear that word and spiritual awakening together, I'm getting death and rebirth. It's a death and rebirth of you. And that's where it's important for you to make room. Make room in your life in order to, independence. So it could be, I think that's potentially, that's exactly where we're going. What does Musashi say then, Gemini? Well, he simply said, become acquainted with every art. And his explanation for that is, broad learning will bring you wisdom. Musashi was a sword fighter, but he was also educated in other areas, including woodworking. He defeated one enemy, Sakti Karuja, I can't say that name, I apologize, using a blocken, a wooden sword he had fashioned from an oar. As he did not have his proper sword that day, knowing how to craft wood saved his life. Knowing things outside your field of expertise will make you more creative than your colleagues. Right then. I'm not entirely sure how that one ties in together, Musashi, but it certainly is very wise. You know what? Actually, I do think I know where it ties in. It ties in with the fact that if you are to take on the energy of the Queen of Swords, with that being your strength, that's like you fashioning a sword out of an oar, a bokken, so to speak. And when it kind of would surprise an enemy during a conflict, wouldn't it? With your own spirituality, you would strike somebody down. I think that's what's going on here, Gemini. It's a tough reading, I'll be honest. Not the easiest one I've had to do, but I do feel like you've gone through a rebirth, a metamorphosis, or you're heading through that now. What you need is independence, and this could also be something that you need to learn. It's not something you can just do overnight, especially when you've been reliant or heavily attached to an outcome or to a situation. When you're heavily attached to this thing that you need to release in order to bring independence your way, you're going to have to learn how to do that. It's not something that can just happen overnight. It's kind of scary. I get it. I do understand how independence can be quite scary when you're on your own in the big scary world. You don't know anybody, but it allows you to, be at one with yourself, be at one with, your spirit, the universe. This actually, deep down, really what you don't realize is by relying on others, it makes you weak. By being independent, it can make you stronger. It will allow you to fight through battles and all this kind of stuff, just like Musashi. So where his skill here is, woodworking. Well, one of his skills included woodworking. He practiced with his sword all the time, like the Queen of Swords. She was sharp and direct. And it was always in their power. You never know when you need these skills. You never know when you need to truly be independent. What skill does Gemini need to learn, please, Spirit? Wow, the Tower. Your skill is how to adapt to unexpected changes. That is what you need to learn. That's where your independence comes in. by learning how to adapt to unexpected destructive changes, by being independent, you will be able to adapt to unexpected independent changes or surprise events. Now, this also can indicate that in chaos, move towards the brightest light. And you can see that here, the squirrels come out pretty quickly. And this light, these nuts actually are trying to guide him towards the bright light behind, which is way behind this lightning strike that's coming up over the top of his little mold there. And these butterflies, they've all been hit and they're turning into vapor. Sudden change can destroy things that are quite beautiful. And that is something that you're going to need a skill you're going to need to learn then is how to adapt, how to become independent and adapt. That's going to put you in your power. You see these individuals that, she's looking that way. She's looking at whether she should trust the universe, like we said. The universe is falling into the emperor. So this is kind of like what you're going to go through. This is if you just go back to the action to take, make room for this destruction or just sudden change. It could be a sudden change, a sudden shift in power and energy. You're going to need to be disciplined through a tower as well. And sudden changes can bring about a balance, can rebalance things. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. Thank you for watching, Gemini. Please smash that like button to let me know I reached you. And why not drop a comment to affirm? Don't forget to subscribe. Click the link on screen to see my early readings in your own playlist. There may be a message waiting there for you too. Have a blessed day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Gemini, I believe in you. You've got this. Cheerio.